Good afternoon, and thank you, witnesses, for coming today. So what I've heard so far is Feeding Our Future, $250 million stolen, 50 convictions secured, the prosecution was working, then the administration froze $10 billion in childcare across 5 states, no evidence, no legal authority, no statutory process. A federal court ruled it unlawful and unconstitutional within 48 hours. Thank you, Attorney General Ellison and Attorney General Bonta, for that work. Then the lead prosecutor resigned. His team followed. Those prosecutions are now at risk. So the record shows they froze $10 billion illegally, lost in court immediately, and dismantled the prosecution, actually putting fraudsters in prison. Every single action made the fraud worse. This isn't incompetence, because incompetence is random. This was targeted, legally defective, and prosecutorially catastrophic. If this committee was serious about fraud, the first witness should have been the HHS official who sent the letter, not the Attorney General who beat them in court. Attorney General Ellison, what are we doing here? And I want actually to ask you, what is your office doing systemically to prosecute fraud in the state?
Well, thank you for the question, Congresswoman. As I said, prosecuting Medicaid fraud is a very important work that we do. We do it every single day. We've secured millions of dollars for people. We've gotten millions in restitution. We've convicted people and held them accountable. We also represent state agencies and help those agencies support the work that they do. The fact of the matter is that this work we do to stop fraud is helping to protect public money. We're proud of it. And we also support federal prosecutions by providing them with information that they need to prosecute fraud, which we have done and will, of course, continue to do.
So tell me this. How has the ability to prosecute that fraud and social services programs been affected by this administration?
Well, it has been devastated by the actions of this administration. This administration has cut the number of prosecutors, but also has redirected FBI agents to do immigration as opposed to...
Why have they cut those prosecutors?
Those prosecutors actually, I said cut, but they actually resigned as a matter of conscience because the administration was trying to force them to investigate the widow of Renee Good.
Say more.
So many of them said that they couldn't work under those circumstances because it violated their personal ethical requirements. So they quit.
So they left their jobs that they had sworn to do en masse because they were conflicted with conscience.
That's right. And may I add, Congresswoman, that we have had motions to dismiss for the violation of a defendant's right to a speedy trial granted by judges in Minnesota because there's not enough federal prosecutors. And one of those was a person who was a violent offender who was being prosecuted for felon in possession of a firearm. Case was dismissed because there are not enough people to perform the functions of prosecuting people who commit crimes. So this is having a devastating effect on our state. And in addition to all that, Congresswoman.
Well, so let me get this straight. Help me understand. 50 convictions secured, additional prosecutions in limbo. The administration's prosecutors have quit because the staging of how this all works, they believe, and they have said on record, is immoral. Why are we here?
I've been wondering that, Madam.
Because aren't you saying that you would love for the prosecutions that are dangling in the wind, you would love for those folks to face justice?
Absolutely. Stealing public money is repugnant.
So the ask would be then to the administration for what? With this committee here, I think your colleague, the governor of your great state, said you want more federal prosecutors on this case.
Yes, but we should go back to the Hippocratic Oath of do no harm. I mean, it would be good to just stop doing things that shouldn't be done, such as demanding that prosecutors investigate Renee Good's widow.
Right. That's right. Well, I want to thank you all so much for coming today. And to the Reverend, I was able to come to your state briefly. And like one of my colleagues said, I did go by the site of Miss Good's death, and it was heartening to see the solidarity in your community. There were about 150 Christians reciting the Lord's Prayer over and over and over. You all are showing us what good really means. Thank you so much for being here today. And I'll yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair recognizes